So it looks like Mac Jones and the offense of the Patriots are clicking finally. It's been a long time since Mac Jones, Patriots offense have come together in unison and have somewhat worked. But now, with Bill O'Brien commanding the offense, it looks like everything is going back to the way it should be, and that's what Mac Jones said. In an OTA, where the first OTA where they allowed media to ask players and coaches questions, Mac Jones had to say it's been really good. It's been normal. I feel like everyone is on the same page. Weird how he used the word normal. So I want to know, based on based on Mac Jones's comments, how confident are you that the Patriots' problems will be fixed after good reports have come out so far in OTAs?
Yeah, I think that they'll be a lot better, that's for sure. Whether they fix everything or not remains to be seen, but they'll certainly be a lot better. They're going to have a more rhythm and exacting offense, as I read about it, that there'll be a lot of timing plays and, exact routes and that kind of an offense. So we'll have to see. That's the kind of offense Bill O'Brien likes. Mac Jones seems to be saying the right things, and maybe he's a little happier with the way things are going. Whether he perform on the field and not make mistakes that cost him the game or not, we'll have to wait and see. And whether Bailey Zappi can give him a run for his money also remains to be seen. And both of them have done very well so far in the OTAs. So won't be long before they'll be playing preseason, right? It's June now, so can't wait for that to happen. I'm wondering what's going to happen with DeAndre Hopkins. He's out there. There's a lot of noise about the Patriots maybe picking him up, but he doesn't fit into their culture very well, is one of the major criticisms. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It would be good to have somebody like him in a lot of ways. I mean, they don't really have many people you can call elite talent on the Patriots, and that is what Hopkins can be, although his head is maybe not very elite.
All right, well, it's interesting because I think we have. Let's bring up. Okay, no, we don't. I thought we had the clip of. Here we go. Mac Jones. This is one of his throws at Tyquan Thornton. I mean, it's an absolute laser. And supposedly Miles Bryant was in coverage, but you can't even see him. Can't even see him. Mac Jones hit him with an absolute laser. It's a pretty good deep pass too, just rainbowing in right there.
Yeah.
I can tell, actually, you've criticized this throw before because it's not a line drive throw. It's a rainbow throw. Yeah. So it's more of a deposit than it is, catch and go. So we'll see. I have a lot of faith in Mac Jones, but we do also have to realize that this is their schedule. They are playing extremely tough teams. You start out with, the Eagles, who were going for the all-time sack record last year, and they almost had it. Then you go up against the Dolphins with now Jalen Ramsey on that defense. You also have Bradley Chubb on that defense. Then you go in with the Jets.
Jalen Ramsey had a terrible season last year.
He had a pretty bad season, I will give you that. The Jets, who just had the number 4 ranked defense last year. The Cowboys, who always have a top 5 defense. The Saints' defensive line isn't as good as it was last year. They missed out on a lot of pieces. They should be a little bit worse. The Raiders, you got Mad Max Crosby. You got Chandler Jones. We know what happened last year with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Goodbye, N'Keal Harry.
Now the Raiders have
Jacoby Myers.
Now the Raiders have Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, no, for the same contract, Juju. I don't know why. The Bills have always given the Patriots trouble. Again, the Dolphins. The Commanders should be a win. The Colts, they were a mess last year. Will they recover with Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew at quarterback? The Giants have a pretty good defense. Chargers, will they be better with Khalil Mack, with Joey Bosa, with what's his name, Derwin James and J.C. Jackson? I mean, the names I just listed off are great players. They didn't come together, and J.C. Jackson was horrible with the Chargers.
Well, he was hurt. He was hurt.
Yeah, but before that, he was terrible.
I know.
The Steelers, Mike Tomlin always gets his teams together. They added a lot of great pieces, so who knows what will happen there. The Chiefs, their defense is questionable, but it's Pat Mahomes. The Broncos, I mean, they had actually the number 1 passing defense last year. They have Asante Samuel. Oh no, they have Pat Surtain too. By the way, Asante Samuel on the Chargers. Forgot to mention him. Pat Surtain, he was a great quarterback last year. So the Patriots are going to run into a lot of problems, and we're going to leave it up to Mac Jones and this team. I mean, right now, I'm loving everything I'm hearing coming out of OTAs. And what we actually asked this question not too long ago about how the offense would look, what kind of sets would they be running? Lo and behold, the report is the Patriots ran a lot of 2 tight end sets in OTAs. Looks like Bill O'Brien is going back to that 2 tight end set, which I think would have been perfect if Bill O'Brien came in last year, had Jonnu Smith, a more mobile, agile tight end, instead of vertical route runner Mike Gesicki. But you know what? It is what it is. We got to sort of just eat the meal that we've given. So,
well, I think the Patriots will be better on defense, and they had a very good defensive year last year. They drafted some pretty good looking talent, particularly the cornerback that they drafted from Oregon.
Right.
I think their defense will be very good next year. This year coming up.
I mean, they definitely should be. Because they added a bunch of pieces.
They had a lot of sacks too last year, right?
They did. It's just whether or not Judon will have. And by the way, Judon is having career years with the Patriots. He was pretty good with I believe he was with the Ravens. On the Patriots, he immediately started with double-digit sacks, and in large part, for most of the start of the past 2 seasons, was leading the league in sacks. Can he keep that up with consistency? That'll be the big question. I'm forgetting his name. It was number 8 on the Patriots. He had double-digit sacks as well.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm forgetting his name. I can't remember, but
I'll think of
he got snubbed for the Pro Bowl. He was better than some of those edge rushers that were picked for the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the Patriots defense has always been pretty good. You also get arguably the best cornerback, Christian Gonzalez. He should be very good. So,
Uche. They have Uche.
They do. That was the guy I was thinking about. Yeah, Josh Uche.
But that's not number 8.
So what number is he? Number 8's Bentley, isn't it?
Bentley, yeah.
Yeah.
Juwan Bentley.
So who then? What? Why am I forgetting? What was it? Number 55?
Judon. Uche is 55.
Uche is 55. So there you go. Yeah. So, I mean, this Patriots team, I'm loving what I'm hearing. I just had to face reality and say you're playing against teams that are incredibly difficult, like top tier teams.
Yeah, well, I think they have the third hardest schedule in the league this year.
I saw on some other legitimate football analysts put them having the hardest schedule. Now I saw most of them had the third hardest based on winning record. Last year, but I think the Sharps had them as the hardest schedule, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, think about it. The only teams you're really missing are the Ravens and the Bengals to make this and the 49ers to make this nearly impossible to win a game. I mean, if those 3 teams were in there, I see the Patriots maybe could go 0-17. Realistically, if you take out the Saints, Raiders, and Colts and put in the 49ers, Bengals, and Ravens, the Patriots wouldn't win a game.
Yeah, well, thankfully, they're not in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. But honestly, I'm loving what I'm hearing, but the reality is, it's Mac Jones people who think is terrible. You have a new offense with Bill O'Brien, who right now it looks like everything's coming together pretty well. The weapons are still a big question mark. Your running game is Ramondre Stevenson and Ty Montgomery and Pierre Strong. So it's really Ramondre Stevenson and who? And really nobody, because you let Damian Harris go, which told you.
Did they draft a running back?
Let's look here. They got J.J. Taylor, Pierre Strong, James Robinson. I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Kevin Harris? Was he there last year? Yes, he was there last year.
Yeah.
So
he was pretty good, actually.
Right now, according to the roster list,
they let Damian Harris go.
I told you before the season.
Who'd he go to?
I'm not too sure about that. There's a team in my head, but I don't want to get this wrong. So I'll tell you when I get it. But think about it. I told you, by the way, they would let Damian Harris go. The contract situation wasn't going to work out. Even though he had, I think, double-digit touchdowns, not last year, but the year before. He plays currently for the Bills. That's right. Number 22.
He went to the Bills.
Went to the Bills, yeah.
Did they trade him to the Bills, or he was released?
No, last year was the last year of his contract. I think it was a 5th-year option. They didn't resign him. He wanted decent money. The Patriots, I told you, wouldn't give it to him because they didn't think he was all that, and he was dealing with injuries as well. Yeah. So it really wasn't that great for Damian Harris. But it's really Ramondre Stevenson. I don't think James Robinson is going to have a great season. Truthfully, I don't.
I believe Damian Harris could have a really good season with the Bills. You know,
maybe
he get a chance to play there, right? They don't. The Bills' running game was lousy last year.
As long as he stays healthy.
All they have is who's their running back?
Who, the
Bills? Singletary.
Singletary's there. Yeah. They also have Dalvin Cook's brother, James Cook.
Yeah, and did they get a guy from the Colts? Yeah, they have him too.
Oh yeah, he was the one that had a kick return.
Yeah, two kick returns for touchdowns in the last game.
Nyheim Hines, that's right.
Hines, yeah.
They also have Latavius Murray as well.
Yeah,
he's bounced around the league recently. So, I mean, really, the Patriots, they're in one of the hardest divisions in football now, which is crazy to say. The AFC is stacked. They have to live and die through the AFC. I mean, the only teams you can really beat, I'll show this once again, the only teams you could beat up on in the NFC are the Saints, maybe, and the Commanders.
And the Colts, maybe.
Well, I was talking about the
NFC, yeah.
Those are really the only two teams.
Yeah. We'll see whether the Giants are for real. I'm not so sure.
I don't want to rip on them yet. Because, you know what, I've ripped on them way too much. I think it's honestly, I think it's given because the Giants have been horrible over the years. However, I'm going to be a believer. I'm going to be a believer because Daniel Jones has weapons. He had what used to be a top 3 tight end in Darren Waller, top 5 tight end if you want to, and stretch it out a little bit. We can argue top 3. A couple of years ago, he was a great tight end. So as long as he stays healthy, Daniel Jones should have no problem getting back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
0, and especially in the depleted NFC. So I don't know. I'm nervous. I still think 7-10 is where the Patriots are going to go. Realistically, the hope is to get somewhere near 8, 9, 10 wins and make the playoffs. But you're going to need some major luck to get there.
Yeah.
Unless Mac Jones has a phenomenal year and becomes, a top 5 quarterback.
We'll see if DeAndre Hopkins comes to the Patriots. I mean, Bill O'Brien coached him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm hearing rumors, whether or not they're true. I guess, supposedly...
they brought other players in that didn't fit the culture very well.
Randy Moss? Antonio Brown?
Right, and they wound up, Antonio Brown, they let go.
He was there for 5 minutes, but he did play a game and looked really good in that game.
Yeah.
I go back every once in a while to see that. He had 4 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. He actually was pretty good for the Patriots. But he's there for all about 5 minutes before, he became Antonio Brown again. So the Patriots have had problems have signed players with pasts. And
they fit in. They fit in. So maybe they will pick up Hopkins.
And I've seen a rumor DeAndre Hopkins likes how Mac Jones is looking right now in OTAs, and he's he seems fine with being coached again by Bill O'Brien. They had a huge rift in Houston. He got traded for about a piece of paper. He just
got released by the Cardinals.
And supposedly it's because he can't run anymore. He can't create separation, which I don't know about that. I really don't know about that, but scouts and reports, I don't know if I truly believe that, but we will see. It looks like the Chiefs and Bills are right now going for it. They're the leaders right now to get DeAndre Hopkins. But if he goes to the Patriots, there's a little audio clip, Patriots-Cardinals game. Belichick was talking up DeAndre Hopkins. So maybe, a wishful thinking would say he goes to the Patriots.
They could use an elite player.
They need a true wide receiver 1. But I did make a prediction he'll go to the Bills, but we will see in due time.